I am at the only remaining remnant of a coal gasification plant in the United States. This was used to generate energy for Seattle between 1906 and 1956. And it produced a kind of gas that was generated from coal. So a lot of coal was shipped into this plant. And through a process called coal gasification, they produced energy that was primarily used for lighting purposes and was pumped through a large network of piping systems throughout the city into people's homes so that they could produce lights. So from about 1906 to 1957, this is the plant where a large amount of Seattle's energy was produced. It was eventually converted so it could also run like heating and cooking, but it was originally primarily about lighting, a coal gasification system. So it's crazy to think that Seattle had only been in existence for maybe 50 years when all of this was sort of put in place here. And it was really the first effort at producing sort of a systemic source of energy for a lot of the homes. This all got shut down in about the, 1956, between 1956 and 1958. When the plant was eventually shut down, it was determined that this actually should become a public park because of its sort of just incredible view of the city. It's right in the middle of Seattle. And so they had to do quite a cleanup operation here because you can imagine 50 years of industrial processes here. There was probably a lot of toxic dirt and byproducts. Clearly people get in every now and then and put graffiti on there. So I have no idea what this part was. They don't really have signs or plaques around too often describing what things were. It was just some part of the plant. So unfortunately we can't go in there and explore, as cool as that would be. So this park was put in operation, I think, back in the early 70s. I'll have to double check that. But it was decided that it had such a great vantage point in the middle of Seattle that it would be, its best purpose would be to become a park. And then off in the distance is part of the plant that was used for steam generation for the various parts. So let's go over there and take a look at that. So all of this right here, all of this is where the steam was generated. This is all steam generation. Look at this huge flywheel right here. They had to generate large amounts of steam, very hot steam, in order to generate the coal gasification process and then pump to the other parts of the facility. A lot of the facility is no longer here, but what is here is still quite fascinating. Look at these wheels. I love these. I especially love seeing the original names of the machinery, the companies, the brand, Ingersoll Rand, Imperial Type 10. And here it is also, Ingersoll Rand. I just love some of what this is. Just this sort of abstract machinery that's been turned into modern art. Look at this piston. This would have been some sort of a massive piston that was pumping steam. This thing would have been pumping and pumping and pumping. Isn't that incredible? I love the fact that I can't quite tell exactly what it is. But you know it's some big piece of industrial machinery. So I'm going to walk over here and show you there's a barge that's going by. So even though this isn't quite the massive sort of industrial facility that it used to be, there's still a lot of industrial operations that go on here. Look at that barge charging on by with the tug. Isn't that incredible?